All right, this is a piece of blackwood, and so I'm going to true it up with the spindle gouge first thing, and then we'll get a tenon put on it. And it's this is a cutoff, the end of one of the leftover, the scrap pieces from making clarinets. It's the bell part of it. You can buy these. I got this at Gilmore Woods. I will put a link down below in the description of them. I'm using a parting tool here. I'm going to get a tenon on it. And so this is going to be a little accent piece on the lidded box, and you'll see that here in a little bit. Once I got that done, we'll go ahead and put it on the chuck and get it hollowed out, and then we can get it all cleaned up. So I'm going to use a Forstner bit to drill out the center of it, and that way it will get out a lot of the material, and then I just have to clean up a little bit of it. So I just brought down the wall thickness a little bit. I'm using one of the box tools from D-Way to go straight down the edge of it there. Help support the companies that support our community. Once I got it all cleaned up, sanded, we're going to use the air saw, and we are going to just kind of make wavy lines around it. This air saw is fantastic for doing stuff like this. I used it a couple weeks ago on the octopus, but it's literally, you put a steel blade on it so it cuts nice and smooth, and you can get nice curves with it. So, and it just cuts through this stuff just like butter. So we're going to end up with two pieces when we're done here, and I'm going to put one on the top and one on the bottom of the box. There we go. So I just started out with 80 grit, got all the little lines cleaned up, and it does cut pretty clean, but this is blackwood and it's super hard. So I started with the 80, ran through all the grits up to 600 and sanded it smooth. Then we'll go ahead and part it off. So what I did here, I drilled that Forstner bit down to the bottom, came in with the parting tool, and then finished it off with a handsaw. There we go. Then I put the smaller part on and went ahead and did this same process here on this one. I didn't have to part it off though. Put it on the chuck and had to change the jaws first, but put it on and sanded all the curves smooth. So next up, we're going to turn another cylinder, and this is going to be the body of the box. So I just got it trued up with the skew, and we're going to put a tenon down on this too and drill it out with the Forstner bit, just like we did the other one. I need to bring the diameter down on this so that those little sleeves I just made slide right over it. And they're going to sit proud on this. Because this was a long process of bringing the diameter down to fit those sleeves, Robin put the camera on the tripod and I forgot to hit record. So it's already turned down to the right size. I'm just kind of cleaning the end of it up here. all I did was I came in with the easy rougher and brought that whole cylinder down to the diameter of the sleeves. And then we'll just go through the final fitting of them to make sure they're slide on there. So with this, I just took my time, turned it down until it was really close, and then sanded them until they fit on there perfect. And I ran through all the grits all the way up to 600 each time, so that I made sure I sanded the center of the box too. Once I get it all set up, a little bit of Type Bond 2, then we'll put, this is going to be the bottom sleeve. And it slides on there. Then I used a little waste block here to press it on and get it nice and flush and true. And then with this, again, I use the Forstner bit. It's just a quick way to clean out the material. And I drilled this all the way down to the bottom again. And I'm going to part this off so it's going to be a hollow sleeve when I'm done with it. So before I went any further, I cleaned up that lip right there. And just kind of cupped it in just a little bit, so I am going to turn a base for it, so that's going to go on there. So I didn't want that to be proud or anything. I needed it to be nice and flat. Then finished drilling it out with the Forstner bit. Came in with the parting tool, and we'll get this thing parted off, and then we can flip it around and work on the other end. Now, same thing with this side. I just expand the jaws on it and then start working on bringing that down. And then because it is just in the chuck with the jaws expanded, I didn't want to put too much pressure on it. I put a cones on the live center, and this just helps stabilize it so I can bring that diameter down. So that's the inside diameter of the top one. And once it was close, did final sanding. So I did make the tube a little bigger than I actually wanted it, so that I made sure I had a little bit of room if I screwed up and made it too small. So when the sleeve slides over it, you'll see it goes past that point, but that's not a big deal. You can always just turn away whatever part you don't need, which is what I'm going to do here in a second. So, and I just lined the little waves up there, the top and bottom. You wouldn't have to on this. You can just kind of put them on there random, 1, 2. Then I'm using another one of the D-Way box tools. It's a negative rake scraper, and just clean up, get rid of that little material on top, and clean up the backside of the blackwood. So, and the wall thickness is a little thick on this, so I went in and cleaned that up, brought that down a little bit too. All right, so this is the lid. I already made the base, but it's the same exact process, so I didn't show it, but it's the same process as this. You just make it flat on the bottom and not curved. So use the calipers, just keep testing it. So this is going to be the recess that will go over the top of the box. We'll get that all cleaned up, and then we can shape the top of the lid. I'm going to work on the bottom lip of the lid right here, and then I'll run through all the grits before I part this off. Just easier to sand all this right now. I can sand the inside of the lid and that lip before we flip it around. Then we can use the jaws to expand it and shape it. And again, I'm using the same tool. It's the box tool. We'll just get a nice curve on this and then run through all the grits right up to 600. There we go. I glued the base on, and like I said, the process was the same as making the lid. We'll just coat the whole thing down with the walnut oil, and I really like the contrast. I like the fact that they stand out from the box. It gives it a nice texture to it. There we go. It's all done, and the walnut oil is dry. Again, it's out of African Blackwood and Maple. So the box, the rim of the lid there is 4 inches, and the box is 4 inches tall. So this is the first time I've done a lid box like this. I really like the contrast in just the woods, and then the texture too. Having that raised on there is really, I think it really pops out. But and I learned a lot on doing it too. So it's really hard to make the wall thickness the same going down the side of it there. It's hard to make it perfect. So what I did is, after I got these all cut out and sanded and everything, I took those 2 rings right there over to the oscillating sander and just kind of moved it around until I got the wall thickness the same. Because if you don't, sliding it over this sleeve, one side of it's going to be thicker than the other one, and you turn it down and start to slide it over it, and then it's not or it's too loose or too tight. So just the oscillating sander actually worked perfect for it. But it was a fun project, and I learned a lot. And it has a cool little bark enclosure there, so you can't hold too much, but fun project. All right. Yeah, really enjoyed it, and I really learned a lot doing this one. All right. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Take care, and we will see you next time.